Hey y'all, welcome back to Homestead Ranch. I'm going to do a video today that's prepping, and we're just going to kind of go through the motions and show you what we're doing this weekend on our property. This is early Friday, March the 14th. I don't know if I'll do a video this weekend, guys. I barely have cell service as it is. It's better, but we're still having trouble. But I want to talk to you guys just what we're doing. We're going to talk about canned goods. We're going to talk about prepping. We're going to talk about severe weather and just show you all that's going on here, okay? I have done prepping videos before. A lot of people like those videos. I told you when I lived through Hurricane Zeta, when it hit, that I became a prepper overnight. I learned very quickly. We're kind of set up in the same situation tomorrow. If y'all know anything about me, I'm from the great state of Alabama. I holler Roll Tide all the time. I love this state, and I'm proud to be from this state. This entire state is under a high tornado risk tomorrow, or actually starting tonight. Our area is supposed to be impacted tomorrow, okay, from like noon to midnight. So we have a basement. That's beautiful. A lot of y'all that watch me in the Midwest may have tornado shelters. A lot of y'all in the South now have tornado shelters. This is a problem here in the South that you have to battle. Thankfully, we have a basement. We are still in the middle of a move, and that's why I've got canned goods over here today. So y'all know that, y'all seen that. I'm going through all my canned goods. I wanted to make sure all my food was over here, which I've got a lot in the kitchen already. I'm trying to get everything set up and on the shelves because I want my food with me if we lose power. If you live rural, you will probably lose power if there's inclement weather. I know with us, it could be just a blink of an eye for no reason, and the power will go out for hours. That's how it is rural, okay? That's just how it is with us. I want food here. You don't want to be without food. You hate buying food if you buy food before an event like this because you may not have power. And that may be, you don't want your food to ruin, but you have to do what you have to do. But all this is non-perishable. So what I've been doing is bringing it over here. This shelf, I think I've showed this to you before. This is from Sam's. It's an industrial shelf. It's 6-tiered. Y'all can't see the bottom two rungs, and it has wheels on it. I wouldn't move it with the weight on it though, with the wheels. But I'm going through all my canned goods. That way I have food here, okay? I've got plenty extra. You need a way to open these jars if you haven't already. I use a bottle opener that's got a clasp on it that just pops them all open. No trouble. I want it here with me, but I also want to go through this and do inventory. That way I can see what I need to grow this next season. I don't like pickled okra. I don't have a lot of it. I've got 5 pints left. I need to pickle okra this year. Look and see what your family uses. We've got tons of pickled jalapenos. We don't care for them that much, but we love the pickled banana pepper. So this gives you an idea of what you need to be growing for your garden. That way the food is not wasted. Like tomatoes here. I've got 70 pints of diced tomatoes. I'm not going to be canning that many diced tomatoes this year. Instead, I'll be working on salsa, which we're down to like 5 pints of regular salsa down here in backup. So I've got, like I said, a ton in the kitchen, but this is my backup. This is what I rotate. You also need to look at the dates on this. Canned goods, per the internet, it used to be every 2 years you need to be done with it. Now they say 1 to 5. Okay, so you make that call and you do what's safe. Okay, some of this stuff's from 23, some of it's from 22. I'm still personally going to use it. You do what everybody says to do. Okay, I'm not giving advice on that. Within a couple years, though, I would try to, change it out. So that's what we've got here. Let's talk about tornadoes and severe weather. Again, I've done videos on this, how to prep, done it over and over, and people did like it. But last night I was laying in bed, and I was thinking about the bad weather, and I said, what else can we go over? Because what am I going to do different with this new move that could help somebody? So if you've been following me, we live in a construction zone right now, pretty much. So the first thing that I'm going to do, my whole family's aware of this. I am going to clear debris from the yard because we live high up on this hill and it can get airborne easily. We have rustic tin that we were using to put on the walls in certain areas of the house, like barn tin, okay? It's ranch, western themed. So we've got that in the yard. Need to get stuff like that up. If you've got a garage, try to get your car in there. We're going to try to work on that today too, but we've got so many materials out everywhere. This is bad timing for us, really. Weather radio. You need a weather radio. We have trouble with cell service. Now, I will say during the tornado emergency 3 weeks ago when the EF0 hit, our phones started going off. Tornado emergency, take cover now. That's what woke us up. I never heard the weather radio go off, but we've had trouble with it. We've got all that fixed. Okay, so you need to make sure your weather radio works. Also on your phone, I don't know if that'll work without service or not. I don't know. Maybe y'all know as far as flashing a tornado warning. It was very loud. I could hear it, but my local meteorologist said this morning, James Spanny, said, make sure your phone's not on do not disturb or sleep mode. So I don't know if the emergencies will come out through that or not, if you keep them on that mode. I barely can turn on a phone, okay? It's a wonder I'm on YouTube. So I don't even know how to get it on that. So I'm not worried about that, okay? But some of y'all might be high-tech and do that kind of stuff. Prep your place. Make sure items are secured. We've talked about that before. Helmets. If you got motorcycle helmets, bike helmets, football helmets, baseball helmets, put them on, okay? Protect your head. If you don't have any of that, go get a stainless steel pot. Get a pot out of the kitchen. Put it on your head. Anything to protect the most important part of your body, and that's right here, okay? Chest second. Chest and head. Both of them are important. So I thought about that last night, and I said, you know, what about, like, just say the worst disaster possible? Now, we've talked about everything from having a manual can opener, make sure you have that, to bottled water, make sure you have that. But in the worst disaster, say you've got this EF3, EF5 coming your way, it's right in line with you, you know it, and you're expecting severe disaster. You're expecting to go to the hospital or for first responders to have to find you and your family, okay? What's some tidbits here? So I was kind of brainstorming. I thought, well, I like to have gloves. I keep gloves anyways. Work gloves, like gloves I use in the chicken pen or gardening, like thick, like men's gloves to go out and work. Wear those. Keep your hands safe because there's probably going to be glass everywhere. Don't pick up wires that you don't know what they're connected to. Don't step on wires. Do the best you can. Wear hard-soled shoes. You don't know if you're going to go through nails, glass, all that, okay? I always wear jeans, something thick, something durable. I don't come down here in my pajamas, okay? I try to get very secure. You may want a jacket. Things like that. But just say that this tornado is headed your way and you're expecting to go to the hospital, or that chance may be. You need a first aid kit. We've went over that. But you need to worry about allergies, which in a first aid kit, I've told you before, you need to write down a list of your medicines, your primary care provider, your allergies and emergency contacts. Just say you've got a child that has, well, just say yourself. Just say you've got an allergy to sulfa, okay? And you know this. A lot of people, and I thought this is so cool, a lot of people write on their forearm, like, allergy, sulfa, okay? If you want to put a pin on your skin and do that. A lot of people don't. They may worry about the toxins or whatever. I think it's a good idea, okay? I'm not telling you to go do it, but I think that's a very good idea, like allergy, sulfa. Or type 1 diabetic. Somebody might write that there if you don't have a bracelet on, or just say you've lost your bracelet, your medical alert bracelet. The problem is with writing it on your arm, though, guys, if somebody's going to pull you out of rubble, or if you're expecting something like that, where's the first place that they're going to grab? They're going to grab your arms. They might have gloves on that are wet. You might be wet. That's not, it may rub off. Don't know. I thought in my mind, where I would put that? I would put it on my chest that would be covered, or probably my abdomen. Because if there's nothing here, that's the most closed off part of you. If I had an anaphylactic allergy to sulfa, I would be labeling myself somewhere here, okay? They're not going to grab you by the belly to pick you up. They're going to grab you by an extremity, feet, arms, but everybody puts it right here on their arm. If you go to a hospital, they're going to see this, okay? If you come in as, a trauma. So I would be labeling it here. I'd grab myself and I'd write allergy sulfa here if it was that bad. If you're expecting it, if you have time to think. So in your grab bag, I would put something like a Sharpie marker. That's what I would do. That way, just say you're in the basement, you're in your dugout, tornado shelter, whatever it is, to have it on you and labeled. If you are diabetic, I would make well known that people knew that I was, especially type 1. Blood sugar is something that you can't, we've talked about blood sugar this summer and the trouble I've had. You've got to check this kind of stuff, and you've got to have healthcare providers aware. Okay, so I just thought that was something different that I had not thought of, but I still think it's good to let everybody know, because just say you're, unresponsive. You can't tell somebody you're diabetic, and just say you don't go to the doctor, or you've never been in the ER. They're not going to know this stuff. Or if you've moved and everybody knew you back in Oklahoma, but you end up in Iowa and they don't know you, so as far as healthcare providers, that's you need to think about that kind of stuff. Worst case scenario. Kids' medical problems, things like that. Need to have people aware. What else? Our animals. So we've got chickens, y'all know that. We have tarps that we put on the pens, and my husband will use a staple gun to staple it to the wood. And we'll be doing that today over my silkies, the ones that just are fragile, and as far as chickens in general, the silkies are just the most fragile. They're small, they're fluffy, they don't have, you know, they've got sense, but they're just not, they're more delicate than a Rhode Island Red that can get on out of the rain. So we're going to put plastic over their pen at the very last minute today. You don't want it too hot inside that pen. That's for wind, rain. You don't want it flooding in their run. And really just keep the worst off of them. So let's see, what else, guys? I've got so many ideas coming at me all at once. When the tornado warning goes off, you know, to get to the lowest level, get in the closest spot, get away from windows, the most secure place. And like I said, a basement's great. And I told my husband last night, I said, well, I hope I'm not bringing over all these canned goods and they'll just blow over, you know, worried about the roof coming off. And he said, well, if the roof's coming off, we've got a bigger problem than canned goods, you know, so we're looking at cinder blocks falling. So, you know, you have to just do the best you can and just go with it, guys. You have to. And there's so many other things you can do. Make sure you have flashlights. Make sure you have batteries. My husband has a Makita set of tools, and he has a chargeable battery for it. So I've had that on charge all day. Going to rotate it out with another one. He's got a spare with a huge light that we use. A lot of people like candles. A lot of people have oil lamps. I have both. I like to use that once the storm has passed, okay, and everything's all calm and we just don't have power. I don't like using an open flame around dogs or kids. That's just me, okay? When we come to the basement a couple weeks ago, I've got a Labrador Retriever, and she was everywhere. She's wild. She's highly energetic, and I didn't like that open flame around her because she just jumps up and just wants to sniff and just tosses over everything. She had an accident in the basement. She was so upset. I don't know about your pets, but mine get hysterical during thunder and bad storms. Have some towels. I didn't have any towels. The tornado was blowing over, and she's had an accident in the basement floor. So I've got towels set out. I've got blankets washed ready. I always keep that on hand. Extra blankets. Make sure your clothes are done today, okay? You don't want a bunch of dirty clothes piled up. Do those if you can. Do your dishes if you can. Don't have, you know, dirty dishes laying out right before tornado hits, okay? Don't be going to the spa tomorrow morning in Alabama. You need to be getting all this done because you don't want to be in a mess without power. When we lost power, I was actually at work and I had not had a chance to do clothes that day. I had not had a chance to get dishes done, and then it all hit at once with the hurricane years ago. So I'm just giving you tidbits of what I've learned. Make sure everything is just ready. Like the Queen of England could walk in your home, okay? Get it ready and get it done. That way you don't have to worry about this with no power and just like, what do I do now? Do I go wash the dishes at the creek? I guess you could if you were without power for months. We could too. But I don't want to have to do that, you know? I want it all okay until we get power back. Paper plates, plastic cups. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. I'm going everywhere on this video. Use that so you don't have to dirty up dishes. Plastic utensils. That's great. Bottled water, keep that. You don't want to go through a lot of drinks, glasses, all that. Try to minimize trash because trash may pile up. And a lot of people think, well, this is just overboard, you know, but I've been 8 days without power and I know what happens. A lot of people tomorrow, we pray it doesn't happen, but a lot of people may be homeless by the end of this and try to go through rubble and everything else. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. So hope for the best, pray for the best, and prepare for the worst in case, you know, it just all goes south, literally. So, guys, that's just some things I can think of. If you have any other suggestions, put them up under below on prepping. The main thing is make sure your family's aware, have the weather radio, and just stay safe. Try to pay attention tomorrow. And a lot of y'all out in the Midwest that watch me probably go through this a lot. It's getting more often here. I will say, like, this was just 3 weeks ago. I'm trying to think what else. Know your local shelters. If you live in a mobile home, try to get in a shelter, have a plan in place. And back to the pets, have your pets ready. I've got the leash already out, ready to go. I know that we'll need the leash to bring them downstairs. And guys, it's kind of like if you've ever watched the episode of I Love Lucy where Lucy goes to the hospital and they go through a dry run over and over and over, Ethel, Fred, and Ricky. And it's all so wonderful. And they just carry her suitcase to the door and they practice and it's so calm. But then when she says she's in labor, they just go berserk. And that's kind of how it is, okay? Because you're woke up in the middle of the night, you're startled, you're scared, you're just panicked, and then especially if you have kids. Get a plan in place today, no later than today. And guys, it's a good thing, kind of like going through these canned goods. You need to practice this every so many months. I am huge on disaster preparedness. I love it. I love that type of thing. And as somebody I've dealt with disaster preparedness, but my own home was in disarray when the hurricane came through. It was terrible. And a lot of things you just can't help. I'm just giving you advice. Don't do as I did. Do better. You know, like don't have your dishes piled up. Don't have clothes piled up. I should have been better at the time. Or don't just survive on an electric can opener. Okay. You know, that's crazy. But there again, I was 20 something years old. I didn't think about it. I had never lived that. So do better than me. Okay. Heed my advice. As far as one last thing, a go bag. I've got a book bag that I keep packed. I like it. Bottled water, important documents. Now, at the end of the day, is a Social Security card going to matter? No, it's not. If it's life or death, it's not going to matter. But if you can put it in a bag and put it on your back, go with it. I would take that to the basement, shelter, dugout, whatever, shelter with me, okay? I would take that with me. If you have a job where you keep license, I would keep those license on me, whether you're a cosmetologist, you're a truck driver, what, I don't know, you know, registered nurse, whatever. I would keep my license. I would keep my Social Security card, insurance cards, and cash, okay? ATMs may not work. If power's out, they didn't with us, with the Hurricane Zeta. We had to have cash. ATMs didn't work, debit cards didn't work, okay? If you just plan and prepare to be off-grid. Rings, special things that are small that mean a lot to you, like a family member's Bible, your Bible, things like that. Any kind of precious, special memento that you want to keep in case the whole house is gone, okay? And you're all that's left, you and your family. Put that in your grab bag. I would put some snacks in there. And again, in there, I would put a first aid kit and I would put a list of my emergency contacts, my allergies, my medicines. That's what I would do. Trying to think what else, guys. Get a helmet. Get a helmet. And like I said, if you don't have a helmet, get a pot or a pan and put over your head. You don't have to go buy a sports helmet to put on your head. If you don't have kids in sports, just use a pan. Something's better than nothing. You know, in school, they make you put books over your head. Do that if you got nothing else, if you don't have a pan. I think everybody's got a pot and a pan. I hope so. That's really all I can think of, guys. There's tons more. I'm just skimming through it really quick. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through all this. I'm going to do that. We're going to have our bag ready, and I am going to work on the animals. We're going to secure the pens, make sure nothing's loose around that. And a lot of y'all have been gardening lately. You probably got rakes, steel rakes, shovels, all that laid out. Make sure that they're secure somewhere where they won't go projectile. Hopefully, put them up against a building, up under something, in a building, your basement, things like that. And just try to stay weather aware. So that's what we're doing today, guys, and we're going to get back after it. We'll see you guys next time on Homestead Ranch. Stay safe tomorrow. I will try to give you an update tomorrow, just a post that we're okay, or Sunday, but please keep us in your prayers and everybody else in this area. See you next time.